Have you ever poured your whole self into something, sacrificed everything you had, given years of your life, only to look around and realize you are nowhere near where you wanted to be? Perhaps you chased a career goal with passion, only to find it was not the right goal for you. Or maybe you drove yourself tirelessly, running, just to discover you were running in the wrong direction all along. If you have ever felt that deep, sinking feeling that all your hard work was for nothing because you chose the wrong road, then this story is for you. Because once, there were two men who both wanted to reach the very top of a mountain. One man went faster, the other chose smarter. And how their story ends will change how you think about success forever. Please stay with me until the very end. At the edge of a small village, under the great Mount Serenity, lived two friends named Daniel and Marcus. They were both 25 years old. They both wanted success very much. The mountain above their village had 3 peaks. The highest peak, the sacred summit, was home to a special temple. People said that anyone who reached it would understand their life's true purpose. Many people had tried to climb it. Most had failed. Some had even died trying. One spring morning, Daniel and Marcus made a vow. Daniel said. Marcus nodded. He said. That night, Daniel got ready with great focus. He trained his body hard. He packed very few things. He found the quickest way on an old map that someone had sold him many years ago. Quote 4, he told himself. Quote 5. Marcus, though, did something different. He went to see the village elder. She was a woman named Elena, 75 years old. She had climbed the mountain when she was young. She was the only person in the village who had ever reached the sacred summit and returned. __6___. Marcus asked humbly. __7__. Elena looked at him with wise, knowing eyes. Quote 8. She said. She took out an old compass and the map drawn by hand. It showed much more detail than anything Daniel had. __10__. Marcus listened closely. He asked her many questions late into the night. At dawn, both men stood at the bottom of the mountain. Daniel wore running shoes. He carried very few things. He bounced on his feet with excitement. He called out. And at once, he started running up the widest, most obvious path. Marcus wore strong hiking boots. He carried Elena's compass. He looked at the ground carefully before taking his first step. He chose a small, twisting path that looked longer. But Elena's map showed that this path avoided dangerous cliffs. Within 1 hour, Daniel was far ahead. He could barely see Marcus below, moving slowly and carefully. Daniel laughed softly to himself. He thought. The path Daniel chose was wide and clear. It felt right. It felt fast. And he ran with all his strength. His heart beat hard with effort and his strong desire to win. Meanwhile, Marcus climbed slowly. He checked his compass. He looked at the ground around him. He rested when he needed to. He was not racing. He was finding his way. By the middle of the day, Daniel had been climbing for 6 hours. He was very tired, but proud. He thought, wiping sweat from his face. But when he looked up, he saw something that made his stomach churn. The path ended at a huge cliff face. It was impossible to climb. There was no way forward. Daniel stared in shock. underscore underscore quote underscore 15 underscore underscore. He checked his old map. It showed this path going straight to the top, but real life was different. The map was wrong, or it was old, or he had read it wrong. Daniel turned around and looked down the mountain. 6 hours of climbing, miles of distance, all of it in the wrong direction. He would have to go all the way back down to where he started and pick a different path. All that hard work, all that speed, all that belief in himself. Wasted. Daniel sat on a rock holding his head in his hands. For the first time in his life, he understood something very sad. Hard work without a clear purpose is just tiredness. He had run faster than anyone. He had worked harder than anyone. But he had run toward nothing. Meanwhile, Marcus had been climbing steady on his chosen path. It was narrow. It was steep in some parts. It needed patience. But each step took him closer to the very top. By the time Daniel was coming down in defeat, Marcus was halfway up the mountain. He was exactly where Elena's map said he would be. It took Daniel 3 hours to climb back down. When he got to the bottom, it was already afternoon. He was broken in body and spirit. He saw the way Marcus had taken, the one he had thought was too slow. Then he made a decision. I will take Marcus's way, he thought. I will run it. I can still catch up. So Daniel, tired but set on his goal, started climbing again. This time he was on the correct path, but now he was 9 hours behind. His body was already worn out. 2 hours into this second climb, Daniel saw what looked like a shorter way. It was a steep, rocky climb that could save him 1 hour if he pushed hard. I need to make up time, he thought. He chose the shorter way. Halfway up the climb, his foot slipped. He fell, not in a deadly way, but badly enough. His ankle twisted. Sharp pain shot through his leg. He could not walk well, much less run. Daniel sat on the rocks, beaten, hurt, and alone. He had given his all, but his choices had ruined him. That evening, as the sun began to go down, Marcus reached the holy top. The temple stood before him, simple and old. Inside there was no gold, no treasure, just one message carved into stone. It said, "The right path walked slowly will always beat the wrong path run quickly." Marcus sat down, tired but whole. He understood the mountain's teaching. It was not about how fast he went. It was never about speed. It was about having the good sense to choose right. The night before the climb, Elena had told Marcus something he would never forget. She had said, "Marcus, life will show you many ways. Some will promise quick wins, fame, money, praise. They will look good. Other ways will look slow, hard, not special. But here is the truth. The path itself matters more than how fast you walk." She held up her compass. "This compass does not make you faster. It does not make the trip easier, but it shows you true north. And when you know where north is, you do not waste time running south." She paused. "Daniel will run. He always does. He thinks effort fixes everything. But effort pointed in the wrong direction is just pain. You must learn to choose before you commit." Elena had taught Marcus 3 main rules. First, stop before you hurry. Most people choose fast and regret slowly. Wise people do the opposite. They choose slowly and succeed fast. Take time to study the path before you put your effort into it. Second, ask for help from those who have already done well. Pride makes people trust their own ideas more than wisdom. Humbleness makes people learn from those who have already walked the path. A good map is worth more than strong legs. Third, accept that the right path might look slower at first. The crowd always runs toward what looks fast. That is why most people fail. The few who succeed are the ones willing to take the path that looks slow, but leads somewhere real. Sitting at the top, Marcus understood that his success was not because he was stronger than Daniel. It was not because he tried harder. It was because he chose better. He had stopped to ask for wisdom. He had followed a proven path. He had not given in to the easy, short ways. And now he stood where Daniel could not reach. Daniel was found the next morning by a search group. He was hurt and sad on the side of the mountain. They brought him down. His ankle got better over weeks, but the wound to his pride never fully closed. For months, Daniel blamed the mountain. He blamed the map. He blamed his luck. But deep inside, he knew the truth. He had chosen speed over smart planning. He had chosen effort over wisdom. And it had cost him everything. One evening, 6 months later, Daniel walked to Elena's house and knocked on her door. "Grandmother," he said softly, "I need to learn what Marcus learned. I am ready to listen now." Elena smiled gently. "You learned the most important lesson already, my child. You learned that being ready to listen is the first choice that matters." A year later, Marcus and Daniel climbed the mountain again, together. This time, not running a race, not fighting to win. Daniel followed Marcus's speed. He trusted Elena's map. He asked questions instead of just thinking he knew. He chose carefully instead of quickly. And this time, he reached the top. Standing next to Marcus at the temple, Daniel read the message aloud. "The right path, walked slowly, will always beat the wrong path, run quickly." Marcus put a hand on his friend's shoulder. "You worked just as hard this time, my friend. But this time, you also worked smart. That is the difference." When they returned to the village, Elena greeted them both. This story shows us a powerful truth about success and life. If you found meaning in Daniel and Marcus's journey, consider sharing this wisdom with someone who needs it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and join our community as we explore more timeless lessons. Elena looked at Daniel and spoke wise words. She said, "Now you understand a great truth. Hard work is your power, but your choices guide you. Without both, you are like a strong car driving straight over a cliff." Listen, my friend, this story is bigger than just climbing mountains. It is about every big decision you make in life. Think about your job, your friendships, your goals, your deepest dreams. Here is a difficult truth you must face. You can work very, very hard and still not win. This is not because you did not try. It is because you picked the wrong path to follow. The world often praises hard work. They say, "Work harder, never stop, push through everything." And yes, working hard is important. But hard work without a clear path is just like spinning your wheels in the mud. Before you give all your energy to something, stop and ask 3 important questions. First, am I choosing this path because it seems quick or because it is truly good? Many people rush toward what looks shiny and new. But wise people walk toward what lasts a long time. Fast success often leads to feeling bad later. Slow steps often lead to lasting wins. Second, have I learned from someone who has already won here? Your pride might tell you, "I will figure it out alone." But your wisdom will say, "I will learn from those who have already done it." Elena's map was more valuable than Daniel's speed. Find your own Elena before you begin your climb. Third, am I willing to appear slow to get to the right place? The hardest part about making a good choice is that, at first, it might look like you are falling behind. Daniel was far ahead for a time, then he was not. Trust the process of choosing well, even when others around you seem to be rushing past. Here is what many do not tell you about winning. The people who made it to the top did not just work hard. They worked hard in the right way. They stopped to make good choices. They looked for wisdom. They took the path that seemed slow but led to something real and lasting. You also have a guide inside you. It is called good judgment. It is called patience. It is called the wisdom to ask, is this the correct road? Before you ask, how fast can I get there? So, here is a challenge for you. Look closely at the path you are on right now. Think about your job, your relationships, your goals, whatever you are putting your energy into. Ask yourself honestly, am I on the right path or just the fast path? If it is the wrong path, it is not too late to go back down and choose again. Yes, it might feel like starting over. Yes, it might feel humbling. But it is always better to start over on the right path than to keep climbing the wrong mountain. If this story made you stop and think about your direction, please like this video and share it with someone who is working hard but might be on the wrong path. Sometimes the best gift is helping someone see there is a better way. Leave a comment below. What is one thing you are doing that feels like running fast in the wrong direction? Let us help each other choose better paths. I will be back next week with another story to make you think differently about what success truly means. Until then, remember this truth. Speed impresses others. Direction changes your life. Choose your path as if your life depends on it, because it truly does. The top of the mountain waits for you. But first, check your guide.